right. All right. All right. All right. Shalom. Shalom. Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely morning. I think it's not too early, but it's morning in which the Most High, Ahia has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm coming with a topic in which the Most High has given me this morning. As I had awakened, I laid there in the bed a few minutes and he put something on me regarding the light. And when he did that, it made me go into a sad and sorrow feeling because I realized I myself have not fulfilled uh, the whole mission that was orchestrated before the foundation of the world. Sometimes you think that you are nailing it all on the wall, one at a time, and you realize that you still far behind and you didn't nail the main thing in which he is concerned about and have been concerned about, and that is the light. We have forsaken the light. And if you know what the light is, I'm going to repeat it again. And if it's already in you, you should feel this. We have forsaken the light. Mm, 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 mm. We have forsaken the light. And it wasn't that he never informed us. He sent his son, Yeshua HaMashiach, to make sure we understand the light. He sent his apostles, and they left word to us regarding the light. Somewhere along the line, we have forsaken so much and have gripped darkness and have forsaken the light. My spirit is saddened. Oh, my flesh could care less, but my spirit is saddened. Like I said in the beginning, I would have thought that I had nailed that one, and nailed that one. But then here I go back to the beginning and I see that I have not put up the first picture on the wall, and that is his light. Now I'm going to go on and start uh, in John, the Gospel of John. And I'm going to wait a minute here. Hello, everyone in the live chat. It's good to see you. We're going to start in the book of John, chapter 1. My spirit is heavy because when I thought I had it, and I missed it. Let's go to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. We're going to start with verse 4. This is one of my favorites. I've said that over and over and over. But being my favorite, I still missed it. But guess what? I'm living to now say, I got it, Father. Ahia, Ahia. Thanks to you in these midnight hours, you have suffered me to get it. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Now, in the Gospel of John, and I know it's early, but I want to cover this because he just gave it to me. So I want to jump on top of it, and I hope that in time past, those who are seeking light and seeking the most high, a higher with all their heart, with all their mind and their spirit, their strength, and that they would see this video and it would lead them out of the darkness or out of the area of where the darkness is located and bring them to at least a pin needle of light so they can continue to run the race, so they can see in which way they are heading. Now, in the Gospel of John, chapter 4, in him was life. That's the Father's breath of life. And the life was the light of man. Okay? The Father gave us a light. Okay? So, therefore, there is a light in us that comes from the life that rests within a higher. And there's a reason for that light. Let us go. Verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not. Here we are today. This is what he was revealing to me this morning. We have walked, talked, act, and continue to walk in so much midnight, in so much darkness, to where we can't even comprehend the light that has been present from the beginning. So we have forsaken the light. We have forsaken the light. Let's read that again. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 5. And the light shineth in darkness. Now, when I received that 2 years ago, I felt he was just strictly talking to me because the way I was feeling it. It was like, Deborah, now, when I gave them the light, it shined. It was present. It glowed. It shined. It glowed. What is it? Glow. But the darkness that was within them, which is their flesh itself, refused to comprehend it, Deborah. So when I used to read this, I used to read it. Oh, Deborah, the light shined. It works. You know, if it didn't work, he wouldn't add in here, it shined. That means it works. Okay? In the darkness, the light shined. It works in the darkness, Deborah. It really works. But the darkness refused to comprehend it. Our flesh have turned down and forsaken the light that rests within us. I've taught the Gospel of John, probably made 15 videos in the last 2 years regarding the Gospel of John. And yes, I did cover the light and what I'm saying now. But what the Father is saying to me today is his whole idea of his will was that, and when I say his will, don't forget, his will has a righteous will and it has an unrighteous will. Is it going to stop that will from coming forth? No. Is that unrighteous going to stop because we ain't going to be obedient and do what he tell us? Is it going to stop the Father's will from coming forth? No. That unrighteous cannot stop the will of the power of the Father to come forth, because it is his power. So the righteous will cannot hinder or stop the will, which is the total power of Father, to come forth. Nor can it can hinder us from really letting our light shine, because we're going to continue this, and I got like 6 or 7 verses, and then you're going to understand what the Father was saying to the prophetess this morning. Okay, now, like I say, in the Gospel of John, I want to finish that. The Father has 2 wills connected to the mighty will. Okay, the mighty will is the will of his power, meaning everything is going to come forth through that power. Everything is going to come, how would I say, be completed through the power, according to the way it is from the heaven. But the heaven has orchestrated it to be an unrighteous will and a righteous will that completes the power of his will. Okay, that means we can't do nothing. We can't do nothing with that. Okay, so we either going to walk in the unrighteous will or we're going to walk in the righteous will. Whichever one we walk in, the power going to sum it up. Okay, so in here in 5, the Gospel of John, chapter 5, it said, and the light shineth in darkness. When I read it, I don't read it like, and I don't grip it like a lot of people because I feel he's talking directly to me. He's giving me the fullness of this light. Okay, so he's saying Deborah is shining because it's letting me know that the darkness can't keep it from shining. Isn't that deep? The darkness can't keep it from shining, for it's shining. But what can the darkness do? It will override it and do so much darkness till you can't see the light. You see? So you can't see the shine, the light itself. Because it shineth while it's in darkness, which is in our flesh. But our flesh do so much sin to keep that light in which a higher has predestined to shine. The sin, the wicked, the evil in us, keep that light from glowing. Okay? So let's go to that same chapter, the Gospel of John, okay? Chapter 1, verse 9. Let's hear what it says. And this is what I feel that he says to me every time I come to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. Now listen to this. Now we're in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. Verse 9. That was the true light. See, a higher is the true light. You see, it's capital L-I-G-H-T, which lit it. I'm going to say lit it, but light it. Okay? Every human being that coming into the world. So if you think for 1 minute that you don't have the light in you, you do, because it came through. See, a lot of people don't understand what we inherited in our flesh and what we received when that breath of life came in. See, when that breath of life came in, it came in with such great power. The power of life itself to breathe, okay? It came in with everything we have within us. That is exactly what the breath of life came with. And it came with a life, which is a spirit. You see what I'm saying? That's why people talk about souls. I don't feel sad for people anymore because we're in that midnight hour where it's not time to go back and feel sad and try to patty cake or make it right in them. No, it's not that time. There's no more time left, y'all, in the time in which you're counting up. Oh, this time, this season, he gonna do this, he gonna do this, then he gonna, no. We done with that. We in that day. That means anything that the Father has prophesied is, and everything is before us. And we waiting for the season. And we waiting for that day. Let me tell you, you keep on waiting. Okay? You keep on waiting. But in verse 9 of the Gospel of John, chapter 1, it talks about the Father being the light. And he gave us a lowercase light when he breathed the breath of life in us. Okay? And that's when we became a living spirit. Okay, not a soul, but a living spirit. Why? Because he is a spirit and he gave us a living spirit. That was the image. He is a spirit. We are a spirit. How do we receive it? Through his breath of life. Okay. And that light that he gave us, it shined. Where is it talking about it shining? In your nasty, dark flesh. But your flesh said, no, I'm going to override it any chance I get. And it have successfully, even up until today. You see? But did it override it as if the light does not shine? No, it override it because it told the Father. Now listen to this and hear this very careful. Your flesh override it because it said, okay, so what? He gave you the breath of life that came with the light, which is a spirit. I'm going to override it so bad. I'm going to override it to where it'll never be able to have a pin needle of light. To where when you stand before him in your spirit, all a higher going to see is the darkness in which your spirit allowed your flesh to overshadow it. That means that light is not going to be light before him. That spirit he gave you. It's going to be like darkness standing before him, trying to justify, clarify, identify who it is, and don't even understand. Baby, you missed it. You missed it from the beginning to the end. When you stand before him as a spirit, you're going to stand before him as a dark spirit. You see? That's why he said no mercy. No mercy, because everything for what it is and what it was is going to stand before him. And you ain't going to get away with trying to justify and clarify and identify what all you done. That spirit is going to stand before him without the light. Why? Because while it was here, that he said, Deborah, look. This is how he was teaching me a couple of years ago about this, the Gospel of John, chapter 1. Look, Deborah. And I'm like, I'm looking. He said, do you see that I have allowed it to shine it? It's showing you that the spirit in which I have given them, which is an image like my spirit, I put it in them and I made sure, Deborah, it shined. But the darkness, which is their flesh, did not want to comprehend that mighty light of my image that I put in them. So when you seeing all this stuff going on, these are people who walking, talking, acting, and living out of his image of his spirit and who he is, and they choose it, not as if they have the power to choose, because heavens has already orchestrated everything to come and go. That's why that Lamb Book of Life wasn't written when you were created. It was written before anything was created. So who tell me where the power is at? It's not in your hand, nor the choice. Okay, now here it says in verse 9, that was the true light. He is the true light. And he gave you his image, which is a light, which is the image of a spirit. So when you come back before him, you don't understand. You might have shut your ugly mouth. He looking at you with no light. That lets him know that your flesh never allowed your spirit to shine. Because he said he had it going. It was working when I left. When I created them, Deborah, I put that in there. It was shining. But their flesh didn't allow it to shine. It wanted the darkness to override the image of Yah, which is the spirit. So therefore, Deborah, they lived the life in their darkness of their flesh, to where their light that I put in is no longer shining. Hallelujah. You see? So the Father is saying to me, and this is the beauty of it, where it said, let me say this here in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That was the true light, which lit it every man. See, there it go again. When he said shine it and lit it, letting you know that spirit, when I gave it to him, Deborah, it was bright. It was working. So he was wanting me to be sure that I understand that what he had invested in us, all of it was 100 times 100. It's what we allowed our flesh to take from what he had embedded in us. To make it back home, to represent him. Now, it says that every man that cometh into the world, receive that. Every male, female, boy and girl, no matter what age you are, you had the same light that shined. That was the image of Yah. You have our Hebrew Israelite men that are dying in ignorance. And the Father is not going to let them get no further than that. They're going to die in their ignorance, because they don't understand that we have to deal with a higher from the level of spirit. You see, the image he gave us was an image like unto him. His image is a spirit. So I gave you, Deborah, an image like unto mine. When I gave it to you, I gave it to you through the breath, and you become a living spirit. You see? And want me to tell you something, Deborah? that spirit shined when I gave it to it. It was lit. And when the Father said it was lit, that means it was lit up from the floor up. That means it was lit. Okay? Now we can go around here and lie and say this. This is just showing you how every man received the spirit that was shining and lit. Okay? But once he got here, even when he was born, that's why I say a child is born of a few days or something like that, and full of sin or something of that nature. But why is that? Because the light is already somewhat dimming. Because now you're coming to an earth where Satan is already, what is he controlling? And how was he saying it? Not only is he controlling it, he is deceiving the whole world already. The whole world. Let me say that again. The whole world. He was doing that already. Look how long it took him to drop Adam and then drop Eve. They went around the tree of life and all the other trees that was in the midst and decided to take of the tree of the darkness. See how quick that was? That was like, bam, bam, hey there. That's how quick it is. So a child being born of a few days, that's about right. You see? So, and it's saying that the child is full of already of things that's actually set in this world in which Satan has already started building up on before that child even got here. Not just up toward that child, but period, sin itself. So when you see this, you see that everybody received this. So this is to say to our men and to our women, when we stand before a higher, it's not going to be based on how you treated a man or how you submit to a man. Okay? It's not going to be based on how a man not a man submit to you, but a man treated you and what he done to you. Wait a minute. Hold up. Brother, where was your light? Did it shine it past that darkness flesh of yours? Woman, where is your light? Did it shine it past that man? Did it? No. This is what he's saying. The flesh refused to comprehend that there is a light that was placed in it. Now just imagine if I live till I'm 90. That's a lot of years to live and not recognize the power of his light that gave me life. You see, it came through the breath. And it's sad. It's really sad because it shows you how far we are from him and why the things that he's going to do and the way that he's going to do it. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm with him. Now, let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Let's go there. Then we're going to go back to John chapter 9. Matthew chapter 5. And I'm not going to have you long. I'm just here to give you pretty much what he put on my heart as I lie in the bed this morning. And all he said was, there was the light. And when he said that, by the time I got to the bathroom in the water, he began to tell me what he wanted me to know. So therefore, I start to go into like a repentance in my spirit, saddened, because it's such an excellent revelation in such a dark hour. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 through 16. And it reads, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. 15, neither do man light a candle and put it under a bush, but on a candlestick, and it give it light unto all that are in the house. Let your light shine. This is Yeshua HaMashiach telling us. See, so don't think that the Father don't know what he's talking about, and he turned around his son, Yeshua HaMashiach, to wrap this thing up. So when you hear Yeshua HaMashiach say, I come to fulfill, You got to grip that. What is that you coming to fulfill? If you got a cup of water and it's not filled, he coming to fulfill it up to the brim. So you'll have truth. So you can walk there in a full glass, not a half glass of water, a full. Okay, in verse 16, Yeshua says, let your light shine before men, that ye may see your good, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven. You see how Yeshua did that? I love that. I love that. He's already showing us that I just come to show you how to do it right. So that you can know from this time on. But let me tell you, I come to collect those who got off the path anyway. Okay? And I come to fulfill them. I come to put that water in that glass to the top. You know, that's going back to thirsting. Bring it to the brim. That you should always thirst for righteousness and for truth. Okay? So here it is. He's saying, I like what he's saying. He's saying, and when your light shining before man, you know what you're doing? You glorifying the Father. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He's saying you are glorifying the Father. Why? Because this is the whole will of the Father. That light that he placed in you of himself will shine on a mountain somewhere. You see? So when we thinking that we don't have to let our light shine, we just go around, it's all about us, ain't nobody gonna tell us, we want to do it this way, we gonna do it this way, we ain't gonna do this, we ain't gonna do this, and we chasing who we are in him. First, we got to recognize there's a light in him, in you. So he ain't coming back to say, hey, baby, this is who you are. This is what you are. No, my light is already present, Deborah. I can't come give nobody nothing else. We in the midnight hour, Deborah. I'm getting ready to what? The door is already open. Well, I'm going to open it wide. So that which is mine shall come on in. Because that's where we're at. You see? So a lot of times we're searching for that which is already within us. Okay? All we need now is to recognize by respecting the light that rests within us. He said it can't even be put under a bush. Man gonna see it. So all this time I'll be wondering, how is it no one ever bothers me? No one ever have anything to say unto me. It's because spiritually the light is there and it's shining. Now, you think that they see the light? No, this is a spiritual thing, y'all. They don't have to see the light in which a higher call light in you, but it's their spirit can identify and will stand down on the light that's in you, you know, because he said this is something that can't be hidden. So that light that's within me is shining even when I don't even know it's shining. That's why when I go places, some people might say, well, ma'am, you got a light, a glow on you. You know, I don't know I never did understand that. But see, it's going back to this light. It can't be hidden. Strangers have said that to me throughout times. Even when I was with my mother several times. And she was saying, well, why are you talking to these people? They don't know you. You don't know them. When do you meet them? It's because she don't understand. They're speaking to the light that's in me. You see, they ain't talking about this female on the outside. They speaking to the inside of who I am. You see what I'm saying? So, and a lot of times it's their spirit speaking to my spirit. But the flesh is reacting to it by saying something. But it's a spiritual thing, you guys. So here we are in Matthew chapter 5, verse 16. Let your light so shine before man. What light is that? That's that light he put in you. His image. That's his image he put in you. A light. Okay? And what did he say? That they may see your good works and glorify a higher which is in heaven. You see? Where is a higher at? In heaven. Can we glorify him? Yes. Through the light that rests within us. You see? So we're playing a game down here, and the game is going to be on us. Because honestly, It's finished. Okay. Now, this is something that's really powerful is here. Let's go to the Gospel of John. Not this one here, but we're going to go into First John, which kind of wrought it all out. But we're going to go into the Gospel of John, chapter 9. The Gospel of John, chapter 9 and verse 5. I want to get to this so I can go over further. In the Gospel of John, chapter 9, verse 5. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Mm, 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 mm. Let's say that again. We're talking about Yeshua speaking now. Listen to what he says. The Gospel of John, chapter 9, verse 5. You want me to tell you what he did? He came all the way down to your level. Yeshua came all the way down to your level. I mean, all the way down. Listen to what he said. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. What did he do? Y'all missed it. 100 times 100. Sister Deborah didn't miss it. Sister Deborah didn't miss it. Let's go over it again. You can't grip the mystery in that. Listen to this. In the Gospel of John, chapter 9, verse 5. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the what? The world. The world. Look at the light, lowercase. That's the same light in us. Yeshua came down in the flesh. And when you're in the flesh, you get the lowercase letters. That light, a spirit. You see? He didn't turn around and tell you he was the light in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse. Let me show you where it's at. In the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse, where is it at? 7, verse 8, and verse 9. In verse 7, it says, and the same came for a witness to bear witness of the light. There that light go. Who is that capital light? Ahaya, not Yeshua, you see. But he came, John the Baptist came to bear witness of the light. No, look at the capital light. Okay. Now, John the Baptist knew of the light, that light. That's why he questioned the light that Yeshua, the Son of Man, because he knew he was coming for the Messiah, just like the world was thinking. No, you can't be the Messiah. So he was confused at the end. Wait a minute. Only way I'm going to know that you were the Messiah is I came down. John the Baptist was told all the things that the Messiah would do when he get here. Everything he would do. He came down here already knowing. So that's why he didn't want to really accept that he was until he knew that the things that he was shown that the Messiah will be doing was the real Messiah. So that's why he said it's time for me to decrease. It's time for him to increase. After he found out that he was healing and doing miracles, signs, and wonders. Oh, well, yeah, that's him. That's the one that was told to me in heavens that I come to prepare the way to. So here in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, you notice it says the same came for a witness to bear witness. See, he came as a witness. That's John, to bear witness of the light that all men through him might believe. You see? So this light that he's saying he's bearing, because now that power of who God's light is now on the scene with Yeshua. But Yeshua turned around. And then you go to verse 8. You see that capital. He was not the light, but he was sent to bear witness of the light. Okay, that's John the Baptist. Okay, then you see in verse 9, that was the true light, which lit every man that cometh into the world. That power lit us up with light. You see, he gave us his breath, and it came straight through us and in us. But that was his light that gave us light. So when you go to the Gospel of John, chapter 9, verse 5, you notice you don't see that capital light. Why? Because Yeshua had to stand down so you will know that I came to walk in a way that you shall walk. I'm like you are. I'm born of the flesh. And that's how he's speaking. You see, I'm a man born of a woman, which is flesh. And he's speaking that here in verse 5. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. You see, of the world. Long as he's in the world, he's the light of the world. When he goes, we have to recognize that we are the light. So he's saying that I am the lowercase light as Yeshua, but as Hamashiach, I'm the capital light, because the word, the power, okay, of who Ahaya is, and the spirit came down with him. But you see, he's taking the same light you and I take. That's beautiful. That's showing you, he's showing you that he was born of a woman, and the light that's in him is a spirit. He has a spirit just like we have a spirit. Okay, that's the light, the image of Yah. But see what Yah came down in Hamashiach, that right hand. That right hand came down in Hamashiach. That word came down with Hamashiach. That spirit came down with Hamashiach, detached himself to Yeshua, and now it's Yeshua Hamashiach. You see? So he's stepping into this, telling you Hamashiach is just a light, just like you are. A lowercase light. If he was claiming all the three things that he came down with, he would have had that light, a capital light. But he's trying to get you and I to understand we got a light in us, y'all. See, he was fulfilling the will of the Father to let us know spirit and truth of the matter of it all. So he was, I like that. I love that, matter of fact. The light of the world. See, and that's the lowercase light. Okay. So he's saying it. And the Father was also wanting us to understand we too are the light of the world. The world's supposed to see us and know that we represent our Father in heaven. Do they see us? Do our workplace, our jobs, our families, our friends, our neighbors, our communities, our city, do they see our light? That's what got me this morning. That's what got me. But it got me in a way that it made me realize that in some things my light shines, but in a lot of things it don't. So me, myself, I have to work on being humble, so that, not so that someone can think that I'm holier than thou or I'm all that. I have to let my light shine. I have to let my spirit overpower my flesh, because that's what Ahaya rests in. That's that light, y'all. Letting that spirit get victory over that flesh. That's your light that's shining to the world, that they see that who, and they, once they see that light, who do they glorify? The Father in heaven. They don't glorify you. You see, that's letting your light shine and not be put under a bush and try to hide your light, but let everybody see your darkness, see your flesh and how your flesh feel, think, act, and want to do things. What happened to your light? Even Yeshua claimed that what he say in verse 5, as long as I am in the world, as long as I'm here in the world, I am the light of the world. You see what I'm saying? That's likewise to us. We are the light of the world. And we're hiding all that wonderful light with our flesh, because our flesh is not going to let us let our light shine. That's deep. That's deep. Now, where I'm finna take you is the 1 John. And I love, this is where, and when he had me to pull up the verses, he started me from the back, and that's where I'm coming. I'm going now. John, 1 John, verse 1. No, 1 John, chapter 1, verse 5. 1 John, chapter 1, verse 5. This then is the message which we have heard of him, okay, and declared unto you. It's been declared. You see, here's Sister Deborah coming telling you the same thing Yeshua was saying, and the same thing Yah intends for us to understand from the beginning. He gave us a light. And that's why when you hear Sister Deborah say spirit and truth, y'all, if something you said, if you don't grip spirit and truth, your spirit is the light. And it's to speak the truth of the Most High, a higher. And a higher is the truth. So where do a higher come? In your spirit. He don't come in your flesh. So if he's in your spirit, he's speaking through you. You see what I'm saying? And he is the capital light. That's why your light should not be dim. It should be bright. You see? So in the gospel of first epistle of John, the first epistle of John, chapter 1, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 5, and it reads, "This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare until you, that Ahia is light, and in him is no darkness at all." In him is no darkness at all. And when you see this verse, this is how the Spirit shows you. You see where it says Ahia is light. Wait a minute, back that thing up. Why you ain't got capital here? That's showing you the power of man to tamper with this book. You see what I'm saying? They tamper with this book. He is the number one light. He is the main light. He is the awesome light that carries all power, the beginning to the end. He shouldn't be capitalized. You see? He shouldn't be a lowercase. He should be uppercase, light. But see, that's how man tamper and move this word from here, add this word, move this from here, move this from here, add this and add that. You have to be led by the Spirit so that all of, when you read, you can read straight and not crooked. Because that's the whole idea of smearing it, is to smear it so you'll never get. And I have learned to the year of 2022 that many things have been smeared, but through the Ruach HaKodesh, he's coming to teach you all things. So therefore, there ain't nothing smeared that ain't gonna get straight when he comes. Okay, so here I can spot it because I understand. Not I ain't gonna say I, because my spirit knows spirit and truth. Okay, and it reads in verse 5. This then is the message which we have heard of him and declared unto you, that Ahia is light, and in him is no darkness at all. So what makes you think he gonna deal with your nasty darkness? No, he already got it. He chewed me out 2 years ago about not gripping what he was saying in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, about in them was the light. And the light shined, Deborah. And I'm just reading on. He said, do you understand that? I'm just going on. Do you understand that? I'm just reading. Do you understand what it's saying? That light I gave them, it works 100. But I want you to understand, there's another part of them which is flesh. That part won't accept that light that I put in them. Even, you know why he's telling the truth? Here today, they talk about soul. Do you know 99 trillion don't know that ain't no soul? It is a spirit. That's what he's saying. They won't comprehend the light, because the light is an image of him, which is a spirit that he put in them. They're calling it a soul. They're giving the praise and the glory to the soul. Oh, your soul, my soul, my soul. You missed it. And that's what he was saying to me. Go back until you get this sign. You got to understand when I say, and the light shining. I'm telling you something, Deborah. I'm telling you that's the greatest part of who you are. It's the part that I come to reside in. And these people run around here talking about a soul. Something to keep you from understanding that the light shining, they're going to put soul there so you don't have sense enough to know that you are a light that Ahia has given you of his image. He's an image of a spirit, and he's giving you a spirit, and you don't know nothing about it. That's the thing he's going to stand before you. And guess what he said? But Deborah, the flesh ain't going to comprehend it. Year 2022. Every church have taught the lie about a soul. That soul was put there to keep you from focusing on the spirit that's in you. That's that spirit that's supposed to be like Yeshua said, the light of the world. And that's why you ain't the light of the world. Have you ever figured that out? Because you don't even know that you are a spirit, and it is a light that Yah had to shine it, and you have darkened that light with your flesh and the sins of your flesh. But basically your flesh, that's why your flesh is your worst enemy, because it's coming after the light. They've got to stand before the throne of the Most High Yah for judgment. And when it stands, it's going to have darkness. It's not going to be shining. It's not going to identify itself to be as bright as Ahaya is. So he going to automatically know. Y'all come get this. Come get this. I ain't never known that. Why? Because it lived the whole time it was here in its flesh, in the will and the power of its flesh. It never shined so the whole world can see. For what? So that your Father in heaven can be glorified. Hallelujah. So even the light that's in us is to shine it, so my Father Ahaya can get all glory and all praise. So that shows you he ain't getting nothing, don't he? Mm-hmm. He ain't getting nothing. What we saying, he ain't got nothing coming. Only thing gonna shine in this world, and everybody gonna know who I am, is my flesh. Oh baby, you think he worried about that? No, he ain't. That's why he told him, I never knew you. Didn't know that, did you? When he said, I never knew you. Why? Because when your spirit stand, it's gonna be darkness. Oh no, this here never represented it. Where? In the Gospel of John. It shined, Deborah, but the flesh comprehended not. So the flesh is getting the victory. And then it's going to come before the Father telling him what they're doing. He's going to say, wait a minute. Let you finish clowning again. I never knew you. You got pitch dark from your head to your feet. And you thinking you're going to stand in front of me in darkness, and I'm going to say and listen to you and take. I don't even know you because you're full of darkness. That shows me that the light that I had given you, you have totally put it out. Okay. Now in the Gospel of First John, the first epistle of John, it says in chapter 1, verse 5, this then is the message which we heard of him and declare unto you that Ahaya is light, and in him is no darkness at all. So if you think for 1 minute you going before the throne in darkness from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet of your spirit, he gonna already see you coming. Get ready, take him. Next. Now listen to verse 7. The next verse is verse 6. We're still in the first epistle of John, chapter 1, verse 6. If we say that we are fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. So when we run around here caught up in flesh and doing the things that represents the flesh, doing the things that pleases the flesh, and we really thinking it's about us. It's about what we do, what we say, how we act, what we got, what we getting. Let me tell you something, baby. You going straight to the lake of fire. Because listen to this, verse 6. If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, this is what people don't get. If we say we have fellowship with him and we up here walking in darkness and think he don't know, I don't care if I can get anybody to believe me on the earth. If I know my Father is, and that's real, I'm real bad with that. I know he see you think the world got you trapped? You think the world know everything you saying on your phone? You think the world knows every place you go? You think the world know your business? Try a higher. Try him. Mess with him. You want to get a world credit for what they know about you, what they can see what you do and everything you say? What about a higher? The difference between the world and him, he's going to judge you. The world can't got a hell nor a heaven to put you in, but a higher do. The world don't have, see, that's what you don't understand. You see how Satan always trying to mimic the ways of the Father. He figured, well, if I can know their thoughts, if I can hear their voice, if I can hear everything they say, track them where they going, track their actions, track, wait, hold up. Who you think got the track itself of the one that's tracking you? Can you outride the one that's tracking you? When my Father, a higher, tracks the tracker that's tracking you, he tracks him. When did he track him? He tracked him before he was born. He judged him before heaven and earth was created. Now you track that. How about getting that some credit? Oh, you ain't gonna do that, are you? You ain't gonna give higher some glory, are you? You ain't gonna give him the praise for it. So when the tracker trying to hear everything you say, trying to track you, trying to know where you be and where you're going, well, guess what? The number one tracker, which is higher, is on them. So track that. Track that. You see, no one gives that a thought. But see, that's how you have to see it. Okay, they can track this, they can do this, but you know what? A higher is tracking their tails. He done already tracked them to hell already. See, that's how you got to put that thing. You got to put that power back where it belongs, in the Father's hand, where it is. Anytime he can allow them to do the things that they're doing to you, you got to put him above them. And that's a problem we have. We don't want to know. We don't want to put him where he at. He's the beginning and the end and everything in between. And you better watch yourself, because he ain't one that be playing with you. He ain't got time to play patty cake with you. Even though he probably do have the time, everything is finishing him. Hey, next. That's how he is. He don't have to be sitting here. He said in the beginning when he created things, he said, what did he say? On the 7th? Wait a minute, hold up. It's finished. See? And y'all still running around here waiting for the finish line. Let me tell you something. A higher, the race is finished. It is completed. So while we run around here trying to figure out things, trying to grip things, trying to understand and put A to B, B to C, C to D, y'all sitting here saying, what are you doing all that for? I hold the beginning to the end. Come on here. Now, they don't want to do that. But let me tell you, I learned something while even speaking to you all. That's why when it come down to judgment, it ain't going to be no mercy. It ain't going to be pretty much of anything, because guess what? When you stand before him, you ain't standing for him. You ain't standing before him in the light that what he gave you, which is that spirit. You standing before him in a dark spirit. That's why he know where you're going. And he calls you, I never knew you, because it shows to you what side you took. Satan. You took the dark side. See? All the spirits coming back to him. Oh, yeah, you like to stand before Yeshua and a higher. You can stand before. You see? Those that's going to stand before them that has Yeshua HaMashiach, that belong to Yeshua HaMashiach, they're going to have the light. See, it's standing there. Because Yeshua HaMashiach already paid the price. So they're going to still have the light. But the other ones, baby, I don't know you. I didn't send him to get you. He didn't come to get you. You ain't in the Lamb Book of Life. Get on out of here. I don't know you. You see? So that light is important. So you can run around here all you want. But that light that's in you is really your identity. That light that rests within you is your true identity. Because that was the spirit he gave you, where he abide in. That's what's going to stand before the throne for judgment. Determine the new Jerusalem, the new heaven, or the lake of fire. Now, as the first epistle of John, chapter 1, Verse 6, it says, and we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. That's true. Verse 7, and in my book, in my Bible, it has a star. When I see a star, the Father told me I need to really focus on that verse. So I'm going to do so. Verse 7, but if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, there it go, his son, cleanse us from all our sin. Do y'all understand that? 99.9 don't get that, do they? Yeshua HaMashiach, his son, cleansed us from our sins. That's what I was explaining to you. Once we have accepted Yeshua HaMashiach and the power of HaMashiach ushered the spirit of Ahia in us, okay? Our commandments now walk in us. Not our commandments. His commandments now walk in us. Okay? Yeshua is the light of the world. We walk in his path, in him. So Yeshua HaMashiach is the door, okay, to this. And as you go into this door, okay, all of this is in you. And it's tainting you and showing you and it's teaching you. A lot of people don't even think that, oh, I have the Ruach, I have the Holy Spirit. But if it's not teaching you, it's not leading you, it's not guiding you, you better second think. You see? You better second. No, I ain't gonna say second. It's we in the midnight hour. Ain't nobody thinking at all. So let me put it like that. But the truth be told, we're sitting here representing our flesh, and our flesh is representing Satan, and we just going on our lonesome. When those who represent Yeshua HaMashiach and come in through the right door with the belief of Yeshua HaMashiach, that the HaMashiach is the head. See, a lot of people don't know that. He's the head of the body. See, and he's ushering us into us that's in the body, allowing him to be the head, which is the Father's right hand power. And then he allowed us to receive the spirit of the Ruach HaKodesh. You see? So it's a lot of things come to us and in us through Yeshua HaMashiach, because he come to redeem us back to where we belong in Ahia. You see? So when he's saying he is the light of the world, he said even that alone with the light, the spirit that we have, the light we have, hey, it's no reason we shouldn't be on top of a mountain, y'all. It's no reason why we shouldn't be on top of a mountain preaching the gospel. That means the good news of the coming and the power of who Ahia is, from the heavens down to the earth. This is the things we should be engaged in. Instead, we engaged in things that pleases our flesh, that prepare our flesh. That's it. But that's what he's saying. When you come before me, there's no mercy, because where you standing is when you let your flesh rule the spirit that was in you, that I abide in. So you didn't give me no time in you. You let your flesh rule because you think it's about you and your flesh and what you want to do and how you want to do it. Let's go to the verse 7. It says, but if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another. And this is what I was explaining to you when my mom is saying, well, why are you sitting here talking to people and you talking to strangers? You shouldn't do that. And I was telling her, is there a light? And my light, which is our spirit, is what's connected. It's not so much as the outer man. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. You can connect strong in the spirit. And after you have connected really strong in the spirit, your flesh will start to come together and be united. If you think that's going to happen to the tribe of Judah, you can hang that up. Ahia had already prophesied Judah has fallen. Judah ain't getting up. He stooped down. He ain't going to get up. He going to have to wait for Yeshua. He ain't going nowhere. Yeshua, you going to have to come get them. You going to have to do something with them. They ain't going to do nothing. So when you're running around here trying to make your tribe and your belief to be what you want and want people to fall into it, it's vain and vast. That's why I don't deal with it. I don't deal with it. I don't When I say I don't entertain it, I don't get involved where, oh, this, and then, just thinking that they are telling something true. No, 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 no. Because greater is he that's in me than he that is in the world. And that light shining in me. And I tame that flesh. And it's hard taming that flesh. But you tell that flesh to stand down. Shut your mouth. Stand down. And not let it have the authority that it feel it has. It'll send you to hell. It ain't gonna send you to hell. The book is already written. Everybody that's going there is already going there. So they try to make a big thing about, oh, come judge me. He's going to judge us. He's going to determine where we're going. Stop lying. Stop lying. It's not something in here that ain't even telling you already where you head. Yeshua didn't come and die just to make you lost in which way you going. Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I go left? All your life. Come on now. You got to know what direction you're going in. You can't be out here. And we look at people that's strung out on drugs, alcohol, drinking, porno, all these other sinful, wicked things. And we look at them as the worst of the worst. But sometimes we are the worst of the worst because we're just portraying that we are holier than thou. Oh, we got it. I do this. I do that. I do this. Let me tell you something. If I claim it to that capacity that I'm all that and some, he'll turn my tail up when I try to sleep. He won't give me no sleep, first of all. And he would chastise me and discipline me and correct me and me like it. Yes, because I'd rather be right now where my light is and should be shining. And can my light shine brighter? Yes, it can. And that's what my desire is, that the light that's in me shine brighter as he has willed it to. Because right now, if you think for 1 minute, all these people on this YouTube, we listening to them, we following them, we liking them, we subscribing to them, and ain't now one of them got a light that shines. So this is what the Father is telling me. There's no light, Deborah. There's no light. They have forsaken the light. And I want to say, well, wait a minute, hold up, hold up, hold up, Father, y'all, hold up. When did that happen? He said it's been happening a long time ago. And I mean, hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago. The light has been forsaken. And Sister Deborah is speaking it now, giving those that at the sound of my voice to understand and hear. Just because you're walking around, you're not the light. You're not bright. You're not representing him. No, that light got to shine. To who? The whole world. That's what Yeshua said he came. He is the light. And he was. The whole world was after him. And he had to preach, teach, and everything, the gospel, to all. He traveled to everywhere. So the whole world heard about him. So he's right. His light shining. Where's your light? Have your light shining so the world can see? I ain't talking about your best friend. I ain't talking about your husband and your wife can see your light, or your children, or your family, or your friends. No, the light has to shine so the world can see. Because people can portray the light by being holier than thou. You see a lot of them run and they put fringes on and wrap their heads and look a certain way and act a certain way. That's what Sister Deborah called clown clothes. Take them darn clown clothes off. You can't see no light in you. All them clown clothes to Sister Deborah. And see, y'all wouldn't even never known that when Sister Deborah used to say that all the time, taking off them clown clothes, y'all didn't never know. That's darkness. Open up take that mess off. Bring out that light. Let that light up if you got it. If it's shining, come on, let that shine. No, you want to put on all these clown clothes on these devil platforms. That's still that light. That's not shining. And one person can see it is Sister Deborah. And that's why I call them clown clothes. Clowning. Thinking you representing a higher because you want to look him from the outside. You want to act him from the outside. But he said, Deborah, it's shining. But the flesh won't let it. It won't comprehend it. It won't accept it. You see? So when you get up to glory, don't think, hey, I'm getting in line. I'm getting in line. I know I got you ain't got nothing. He gonna say, I never knew you. Because your light never shined on the earth for the world to see. And what he mean is your spiritual light, y'all. He ain't talking about your nasty flesh. So all these churches and all these people, this gospel music, all these people talking about we the people and all. Let me tell you something. Where's your light? Huh. That speaks for you right there. Is it shining or have it shine? You don't know because you don't have none. Your light is so darkness. So when sister was talking to you about midnight, we in the midnight darkness, so much darkness and evil. How did you think you get out of here? Because everybody is allowing the wicked and the evil and the darkness of who they are to take over. And no light is being seen. You see? So Sister Deborah running back to him like I'm tired. I'm running in the desert. So, but Father, they doing this. They doing it. And didn't I say that? Then he had to take me right where he already said it over and over and over and over and over. Now what you talking about now? So stop, Deborah, looking for the light to appear on the outer man. It is something that's in the inner man that the whole world will see. You see? And it is so true because I'm just saying it ain't something that when I go out all the time and say this not no, but I have been approached. I say probably 20 times in my life. I'm saying 20 times in my life as someone approaching me saying that they could see a light on me. You see, a glow. Some say glow, some say light. Most of them say light. So that identify that is something in me greater than what you see on the outside. You better watch yourself because you don't know who you're dealing with. You really don't. So here in the 7 says, listen to this. It says, but if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another, and the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, his son, cleanse us. I like that, the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, his son. Woo, look what they did. Cleaned us from all sin. Why? Baby, you got that light in you. You are the light of the world. You see? So let's go to the last verse. This is the last chapter and verse. 1 Peter. And we're out of here. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye shall show forth the praises of him whom he has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Okay, now you have to understand, he's speaking of the chosen one that rests in a holy nation. He's not talking about the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Levi. He's talking about within that tribe, you have been chosen. Many been called to be the children, but the chosen one that's in that tribe, those tribes are holy. That he called them a holy nation, is within the nations. Okay, and peculiar people, that ye shall show forth praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. See, he still rumble. He has the first and the last say so. He know who he called. He know who he chosen. He's called us out. He's called us out. Because when you think of the 144, a lot of people, they don't know how to count. Because if you really think of 144 of the tribe of Judah, that's not very many at all. I look at it as 1%. I look at it as 1%. But he has chosen. He is out of. That's why he's not gonna let the whole house like they're thinking he's going to let in to the promised land, not to the promised land, to the New Jerusalem. No. It's only a small remnant. And it's just, if it's a small remnant to him, what makes us think that it is a lot? It's not. That 144, a lot of them ride on that. That's saying of my nation. I'm thinking I'm tribe of Judah. That's saying 12,000. So you put 12,000 up against how many people that was born in the tribe of Judah? That's still less than 1%. That 12,000. See, they don't see it like that. So you don't focus on the 144. You focus on the light that's in you and the way he wants you to conduct yourself while allowing the light that's in you to be the light to the world. Because most people think they ain't gonna have to do nothing, just be the child of Yah. No, baby. You're gonna have to walk this time. You're gonna have to see it for what it is. You're gonna have to see the light and walk straight into the light. That's why he said, and find it, the narrow gate. You got to find that narrow gate. That is righteous. That is the life, eternal life. You got to find that thing. And the way you can start today, as Sister Deborah is speaking, is through the light. Dissect yourself means search yourself within and without, and see if you've been allowing your flesh to override your spirit. He said you must get your flesh under the subjection to your spirit. That's why it's not important that a man, you should be submitted to a man, because you can be submitting to his flesh, which is the same darkness he said is going to the lake of fire. You see, how can you submit to his flesh if you are the light? You see, of the word. You can't. You can't submit to his flesh. He has to submit to the most high or higher and let his light so shine like Abraham did to what Sarah was able to call him Lord, because she saw that light shine. You see, he was counted from a vision on in. He wasn't that what he was on the outside. He counted him straight on in before he even had Isaac. The father counted him straight on in through the vision. So it's a lot of things Abraham was doing because the father was upholding the light in Abraham, and Sarah saw that. So she called him Lord. You see? So it's a lot of things Sarah was dealing with as far as Abraham, because Abraham was showing her that he had respect for her as his wife. You see? And that he had more respect for the one that was leading them throughout the times, you see, and she liked it that. So you run around here and think that you're supposed to be submissive to someone's flesh, and he's sitting here letting you know that flesh, let me tell you, gonna mess up your spirit, which is your life. So don't let no one's flesh destroy your spirit. I don't care if it's husband, if it's wife, if it's your children, if it's your father, if it's your mother, if it's your bestest friend, if it's your fiance, if it's your next door neighbor, don't let them tamper with the light that's supposed to be the light to the world. Now, have you forsaken your light? Give yourself a thought. Just think that. Have you forsaken the light that was put in you to be the light to the world? Have you been the light to the world, or have you forsaken the light? I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, I appreciate everybody in the live chat. It's good to see you. But have you, just ask yourself, been the light to the world, to where the world can see you? You're not put under a bush where you cannot be seen. Have you? Yeshua HaMashiach said he is the light of the world, but he has taken on an image in us as well. So the light that Yeshua HaMashiach put on us, and the fulfillment, because we still didn't comprehend the light, then Yeshua come and say, I am the light. When, okay, Yeshua, you in me now. I have accepted Yeshua HaMashiach, now the light. So it's we without darkness. So all the things that we're having in our life, all of this darkness and darkness is because it's going to put out our light if we continue to walk in this darkness and let it put out our light. And your light is to shine. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. I was saying something to someone regarding how my family is. And I wanted to say this. I need to correct something because of what I'm saying now and how the Spirit is revealing it to me as I speak. I talk about how it's something about my siblings and my family who don't really uh, go up against me. They don't bother me. They don't try me and all of this and so and so, but they listen to me. It's because they see something in me. And I did not recognize that until as I speak this here message, it was the light all the time. It has always been the light. And knowing that I could also add that in what I have already done, which I feel I have uh, forgiven them for anything that they have ever done in my life. And I have let it go. And let me tell you something, just as he did with Job, once Job forgave his friends, he came in, blessing Job with everything he lost. So have I, way back years ago, overlooked my family to the point where they gave me no more problems and no more issues. And when they see me, they see something. They see something. And that is the light. That's why they don't be buckling up and arguing with and debating, and they don't do that because they see something. And just giving you this lesson, if you don't learn from what you speak, you ain't who you think you are. See, anything you say to anybody, it first has to come to you. You have to receive it first. You can't speak to someone as if you got it all. No, it has to bounce on you as well. And me speaking this message this morning, it bounced on me because I never knew why they listened to me. Now, I'm not saying they follow me or they do what I say. No. They give an intent, they attentive to what I'm saying. They don't argue, they don't fuss, they don't say those things, anything to me. You see what I'm saying? And that's been going on, I think a good probably 10 years. It's just like because now somewhere the Father has allowed them to see the light, and they don't have to like the light, but they know the light is bright. And that being said, is a light that's in the world. That is the light of the world. It has to shine out of you so people can see you as the light. They ain't gonna understand it. They're gonna be trying to figure it out. Some of them ain't gonna even after a while, they ain't gonna even try to figure it out. They just gonna see you as somebody that they're willing to respect. Now they might not agree with you, they might not do the things you saying, but it ain't about that. You don't need nobody to agree with when the light is greater in you than he that is in the world. So what do you need on the outside of you to come on one accord with you and agree with you when you are the light of the world and it rests therein? Anything outside of that, I can discern the darkness. So if I have the light in me, why am I concerned about the darkness that's on the outside of me? He already done told us how he's going to sum them up. So it is not even my business and how he going to do it and why he going to do it and the way he's going to do it. I got to let my light so shine. So I thank the Most High. First of all, I want to say to you, I thank him for bringing that message to my bosom this morning. I appreciate him for giving that to me to speak unto you all and to give unto me that I may eat from the plate in which he has prepared for me. And I really thank him for that because honestly, only he knows truth in the way truth shall be spoken. And I appreciate him allowing me to see that that the word forsaken the light is what I'm in the midst of in this day and time. So I have to that also go along with why the things are the way that it is. It's because there's no light in the people. So I have to consider that in this race that I'm running. So Sister Deborah again said, I appreciate each and every last one of you in the live. And I say unto you, I will be back. And I say, Shalom and Shalom.